All right, everyone. Welcome to SCL. We have Savrip versus Baywatch here. Last minute tag in, Rain 17018 here. Last minute tag in for this cast. I thank all 0 of you that are watching so far. That's okay. All right, so looks like Baywatch has had the honor of faction pick, and they have chosen to launch with the New Republic. So they are flying with Brandon S101, Beach 89, Spoon the Hut, Power Paladin, and Hentai Pilot, better known as Detenchi. Oh, 2 people watching now. Now it's a real cast, folks. All right, over on the Empire side in the Imperial Star Destroyer hangar, we got Quintessence, Hail Sagan, Thanatos, Zareth, and I, Lauren. An identical lineup to Savrip's, what they flew all through Season 6. So, no chance for me to warm up, really. We're just jumping right into this pool. Not really a whole lot of uniform coordination going here in the MC-75 among Baywatch. Some decent coordination, kind of, with Savrip, but Lauren, the pun hater herself, sticking out in the all-black suit. Someone give me a cat pun. They can make fun of Lauren here. Oh, and by the way, this match is on the Zavian Abyss, new to Season 7. Not new to comp play, but new to this year. Hi, Frere. Some would say that that Lauren is the black sheep. Excuse me, Jareen, I was tagged in. I was tagged in at the last minute. I was told that a Spoon the Hut was going to do this, but instead he's playing this game. I was not planning on being here, so you are welcome. And here we go, folks. Welcome to the Zavian Abyss, a fan favorite map. Launching in front of the MC-75, Brandon S101 in the B-Wing, Detenchi, aka Hentai Pilot, Power Paladin flying the U-Wing, Spoon the Hut in a Y-Wing, and Beach 89 in a Y-Wing. No A-Wings on the field for Baywatch. Interesting start to this. Hail Sagan in a TIE Bomber, Thanatos in a TIE Defender, Zareth in a Pancake, Lauren in a TIE Bomber, and Quintessence in a Bomber. Triple Bomber formation coming out of Savrip here. Morale bar heavily in favor of Savrip so far, sitting at about 75%, but just swung right back into the halfway point. Now sitting in Baywatch's favor. Let's see what this B-Wing's up to. Looks to be dropping all 10 of its proton bombs on that poor Raider. Shields aren't even down yet, but that hull is just about gone. Waiting for the pocket from Power Paladin. And, oh, did I see that correctly? No ship that small has a cloaking device. It must be the squadron mask, and Baywatch takes the first attack. No marks, only one U-Wing running the mask. It's an old meta, sir, but it checks out. Let's watch this B-Wing try to make its way into the Arlington cruisers. Beach 89 taking a little bit of PK pressure from Thanatos. Going to flip back to Brandon. Starting his bombing run. He's got a fresh set of bombs. 3 left in the tank, just dropped 7 of them on that Arlington cruiser. Hull is coming down on Charlie without even the shields going down. Oh, excuse me, camera drifting away from me there. More work coming down from Brandon. Let's switch the perspective of the PK flexes. Let's see if they are... Well, can't do that if the one flex is dead. Just kidding. Looks like Sagan is working on the bomber here. I'm sorry, on the Raider. I'm a little tongue-tied, no warm-up. Raider just about to go down. But one of these Arlington cruisers is looking very, very weak. Beach getting dunked here. I definitely didn't expect this play, folks. I was expecting the A-Wing play out of Beach, but you don't see Beach in a Y-Wing nowadays so much, but here we go. All right, so Brandon getting pocketed again. Oh, 2 wings, U-Wings now on the field. Oh, my God. This is chaos, folks. Chaos. Power Paladin switched back to the farm. So Power Paladin launched into U-Wing. Now is in the Y-Wing. It looked like he swapped places with Hentai Pilot. Looks like Baywatch has figured out a way to not lose too much speed on their defenses with all the ship swaps. So Power Paladin hopping into that Y-Wing, helping out with the farm, and still 2 Y-Wings on the field to help. This is utter chaos. I wish I had a co-caster to help me figure it out, but I'm trying to keep it all straight. Savrip's turn on attack. Shield's not quite down yet on Charlie, and yet morale is down to half, so they have a lot of work to do here. Shield's just now coming down on the Nebulon B. Charlie's hull is now exposed. Lauren popping off multi-like missiles and the Goliath, pumping down rotary fire. Now, do I see this right? Quintessence has switched to standard lasers, taking a page from the Church of Zug, running the standard lasers on the TIE bomber to get a little bit more maneuverability, a little bit more agility from that quick energy regen. And she is going to work on Charlie. Charlie almost in the out of phase range. Nope, not quite. Just about at 36%, a little bit high the dive on the out of phase. Zareth going down at some point here. Sagan very low on the hull. And who do I even follow here, folks? I'm open to suggestions. So Hentai Pilot sticking in that U-Wing. Power Paladin now coming out of the hangar in a U-Wing. Double mask, double resupply. Good luck trying to catch that B-Wing, folks, because it's going to stay invisible and stay re-upped constantly. Shields now coming down on Delta. And in comes Brandon with the bombs, getting ready to make his run. And look at that, folks. A hail of explosions on the top of Delta. Mass out again from the other U-Wing, so that means this U-Wing is now invisible. Brandon's cloak just came undone. Another pocket going out, and the B-Wing's just going to work here, folks. Just going to absolute work. In the meantime, Power Paladin putting in some ion laser pressure onto the back of these Savrip bombers, trying to disrupt the farm. Brandon down to 57 on the hull. May have taken a bonk, but gets yet another resupply, constantly staying topped off. Must be nice to be babysat like that, folks, with the tender loving care of 2 U-Wings. This cruiser is not long for this world. Raider just about going down, but they still have a relatively healthy morale bar going into this ISD. Thanatos going down yet again, and Lauren coming back in the hangar in a fresh bomber. Let's see what Baywatch can do on this first attack. Spoon the Hut running ICT and multi-like missile. Looks to be having a bit of a tough time getting in. Shields just coming down on the Star Destroyer. Zareth in a lot of trouble here over his own ISD. He might have to hangar just to keep himself safe. Brandon going down at some point in that B-Wing, but with the 2 U-Wings on the field, not a lot of trouble getting the shields iced and taken out. Or brought down, rather. Spoon getting dunked here. Probably the work of Thanatos. Yeah, Thanatos on the back of him with his patented Plasburst laser cannon. Ion missile hitting just right before that. Trying to follow up the quick light missile, but no kill to be had here. It's a little bit tough sledding trying to PK solo, so note that Savrip again has a triple bomber formation, so Thanatos is out here trying to PK on his own. And with those ICTs on the field, he's having one heck of a time here. No place to run in the Zavian Abyss from ICT. Savrip is pretty far behind in this game. They got a frigate and a half to shoot through. Ooh, Thanatos taking a massive bonk there. He's going to need a resupply, otherwise a little bit of a sneeze and he's out of the game, and he gets the resupply he desperately needed there. Let's switch to Lauren here. Looks like they may be opting to get both of these out of phaseable, and yep, shields just went back on the Star Destroyer. You just heard the Admiral there from the Star Destroyer say that the shields went back up. So Savrip looks to be setting up a double out of phase for themselves rather than pushing through the Charlie cruiser for the extra morale. Multi-lock missiles going out from Lauren. One of the cruisers going down. Not sure if that was intentional. That looks to be. Yep. And now Savrip making their turn on the flagship assault with the MC-75 right in front of them. Lauren, interesting loadout here, packing 5 proton torpedoes in that TIE bomber. Probably for the extra DPS here. She's making her shield gen run. Multi-lock missiles about to go out, and that shield generator has been obliterated. But Zareth going down at some point. Quintessence in a lot of trouble. Out of Goliath missiles, down to 30 on the hull. This attack is probably coming to a close for Savrip. and they need to fall back and defend their Imperial Star Destroyer once again. And finally, the appearance of an X-Wing for the New Republic. Beach swapping to the X-Wing for this final flagship assault, or what Baywatch hopes to be a final flagship assault. Shields have come back up on the Star Destroyer, not quite in the broodable range. So shields are over 50%. So it's going to take more than just a couple of ion laser tickles and ion missiles to brute these down. Beach getting the benefit of the mass. Do you remember when you had to be relying on mass to get on the Star Destroyer, folks? Remember how we used to be relying on that? Alright, Beach making his way to the shield gen. Doesn't look like beacons have been applied yet. And morale is looking a little perilous for Baywatch. Pretty good defense by Savrip so far. Shield still not down on Star Destroyer. Looks like Corvette just went down. Shield still not down on the Star Destroyer. Finally, the shields go down. Baywatch has to hard commit here. Weak points are being found. Star Destroyer's hull is falling rather rapidly, down to 42%. This is probably going to come down to a base race. Another weak spot being found. Savrip needs to flip this right now if they're going to save their Star Destroyer. And there comes the flip. Spoon getting dunked, but Savrip is not shy about out-of-phasing flagships. Well, misspoke there because it's actually Baywatch on the attack, but they're not shy about out-of-phasing flagships too. Star Destroyer down to 12%. Proton Torpedo going out from Beach. Star Destroyer is down to 8. Savrip must hurry if they're going to save their ship. Thanatos is taking part of the MC-75 attack, so they're hoping that they can base race them, but I don't think it likely. I think the Star Destroyer... Oh, well, it's going to be close. The Star Destroyer is down to 5%. MC-75 looking really, really weak. MC-75 down to 17. 12%. 10. This is anybody's game, folks. 7%. Oh, and the game goes to Baywatch. Oh, my goodness. I thought Baywatch had it cleanly in the bag, but that was a lot closer. A lot closer than I thought it would end up being. Game 1 goes to Baywatch in a thrilling base race. Let's check out the scoreboard. Oh my God. Is that an SCL damage record? 204, no, more like 205,000 capship damage from Brandon in that B-Wing. My goodness. Now, you can see that he got the lion's share of the damage. And not so much damage output, big output numbers from the rest of the team, but my God, that is something else. The two bombers for Savrip here are doing work at over 100K, and Quintessence shipping in another 73K. Not surprising you see huge capship numbers coming out of both teams, given that both flagships are almost dead. That probably means that the weak points were found for just about every team, or for both teams, that is. So I believe the MC-75 was down to about 5%. So lots of capship damage to be had in that game. Really, really good stuff. That was, wow. Just wow. I'm going to see if the next lobby is ready. Whew. I need a moment to catch my breath, folks. That was intense stuff. I'm a little tongue-tied, a little flustered coming in, not really expecting to cast this game, but, you know, I feel strongly that every game should be casted. We've become used to that standard, and I just hate to see games not get casted. So here I am, but didn't get the mental preparation that I usually like before a cast. But hey. And people say ban Zavian. Yes, the people do say that, Lions. It's probably the same people that voted for Zavian, too, to be fair. I think people just have short memories. Like, Zavian, remember that map? It wasn't so bad, right? No, it's just as bad as you remember. Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos. Well, see, MJ. So I'm a old veteran of this game to where I remember playing Zavian Abyss in the Cal Cup, and I remember even back then that it was like it seems kind of NR favored, and then it turned out that the devs confirmed that there is actually less AI per wave for the Empire side, so there's a literal farm disparity. And I've always found it to be the least enjoyable map in the game. There's some wonky collision detection. eSoda posted a proof of some very wonky collision detection in the middle of the map. Um, the devs even said they had a lot of problems and they almost benched this map. They were very close to not including it in the game because they had so many technical issues with it, and turns out they still had a lot of technical issues. So those of us that remember, we remember that it's broken. But the people voted, and here we are on Zavian Abyss. So we need to prove that it is broken again. And Lions, no, I don't agree with banning Esseles because it's very much possible to win as NR on Esseles. If Cab can do it, you can do it too. Make Zavian broken again. See, we don't need to make it broken again. It's just like we just forgot. It was just lost in our collective memories. People just looked back at Zavian with rose-colored glasses. It is possible to win as NR on Zavian. Yeah, well, duh, because it's an NR favored map. Oh, oh, that's the joke. I see. I'm only seeing part of the stream. Okay, I'm on console. I don't have my laptop. This is a last minute stream, folks. Right from the console, no computer, no mercy. But we probably shouldn't let the SEL discussion channel bleed onto here. This is a professional, objective cast, folks. Looks like we're waiting on somebody to come in. Somebody on Baywatch's side is missing. Well, folks, since I'm on console, can chat throw out some predictions for Game 2. And we will be getting a faction flip with Savrip taking New Republic and Baywatch taking the Empire. I don't know about you folks, but I was very surprised to not see the A-Wing in action on Zavian Abyss. I feel like that's a great map for it. You can just pop off your Seekers, and good chance that it's going to hit some farming ordnance, given that it's a small tunnel. And then plus you can really maximize your the farming disparity by jamming their farm. Yeah, Maticus, it's funny when we scrimmed Savrip, we actually split Empire wins on Zavian. It's pretty weird. And then like the teams got less and less real. Like we kept like subbing in players and stuff, and then I didn't really count those results. But the first 4 games we played was all Empire wins, which I thought was pretty funny. That's our tradition with Savrip. All right, looks like Disco Dino has made his way into the game. Yeah, a few hull points. I believe 5%, Lions. The MC75 is down to 5%. That was that. I'm not sure what happened to Baywatch on that out of phase because the Star Destroyer was down to 12%, I believe, as the phase flipped, and that's usually pretty safe out of phase territory, and usually that can be taken down pretty quickly. I'm going to tell Until the players were ready here. Okay, good. It could have been a situation because of the Zavian tunnel. Maybe the NR team had trouble getting around to the back. Yeah, ISD was at 13 on the flip. So I mean, because like you can't just take a wider route around the ISD to get to the back, right? So you're probably okay if you get there as the phase is flipping, but it's pretty hard to get to the back if you're like dead or coming in from the front. So I'm guessing that's what happened to Baywatch and why their Star Destroyer oop was a little slow. But kudos to Savrip too for really closing that gap. It's a really impressive MC75 burn, as they're well known to do. So almost the same lineup for Baywatch, but with Disco Dino coming in. Over on the New Republic side, no changes in the Savrip lineup. But yeah, I mean, that game was just about as close as you can get, and I'm pretty sure most players in this scene has been on both sides of that. It's really thrilling when you win those, or it can be really heart-racing, or you can just be like, oh, wait, it was that close? If you're not monitoring your own flagship. But being on the other end of those, just absolutely gut-wrenching to lose that way. That just means, like, a little bit more uptime of laser fire could have made a difference, or if you found a weak spot like 3 seconds earlier, half a second earlier. It's a game of inches. The stormy clouds of Zavian Abyss can be heard in the distance as apparently we got a ghost fleet here launching. Here we go, launching in front of the MC-75, Thanatos, Quintessence, Lauren, Zareth, and Hail Sagan, launching out at the Imperial Star Destroyer with double pancake, double the fun, Disco Dino, Spoon the Hut, Hentai Pilot, Power Paladin, and Brandon S101. Double Reaper, aka the IHOP Special, as Quintessence just dubbed it the other day. Now, we saw this over at Cavern Angels Blue coming out of the Wise Guys. Let's see if Baywatch can make it work for them. Morale bar in the favor of Baywatch, but as I say that, gets ripped right away from them, and this is quite the tug-of-war here. Ion Missile just narrowly missing on the back of... Oh, no, it still hit him anyway. Magic Ion Missile on the back of Brandon S101. Takes a little bonk, but he is able to escape and get some partial shields back. And not a sight you see every day. A Reaper getting resupplied by another Reaper and then masked by another Reaper. Absolutely silly. Yeah, you can sometimes dodge ions in a Reaper Scribbler, but it's pretty hard. Power Paladin doing some loops here in the Reaper, bringing down the shields on the Corvette. Morale bar still out at about 50%, a little bit in Savrip's favor. Savrip trying to work that farm advantage. Lauren trying to finish off that darn TIE Fighter, but she's down to 35 on the hull. In a lot of trouble here, but getting the pocket. You can see the Plasburst lasers of Thanatos powering up there. Thanatos lining up Hentai Pilot here with the Plasburst. Not quite landing the hits he wants, though, but Savrip is going to have the honor of first attack. Going on the back of this Reaper, down goes the Pancake. Sad Pancake life, making the morale bar a little healthier for Savrip. And it looks like Charlie is the target for Savrip for this first attack. Thanatos does not have an Ion Torp in the tube. Ion Missile going out, but shields have fallen rapidly. Lauren, I thought she'd be running the gunboat, but firing her Golo to strip the turrets on the top of Charlie. Morale sitting at about half. Zareth now working on the other cruiser shields. Proton Torpedo about to go out from Hail Sagan. Oh, looks like it did not get that off. Maybe got a little bit too close there. There it is. Nice release point from Sagan. This cruiser could be out of phaseable if they do a little bit more work on it. Yeah, just a little bit of a high out of phase, but Savrip really wants to push it, they could, or they could save it for the double out of phase on the subsequent phase. And looks like they are opting to push it. It is down to 12%. Yeah, Sagan looks to be setting up some loops to finish this oop and cash in on that morale. Let's switch over to Baywatch. Shields have come down on Charlie. Let's watch Disco Dino, the god, do his work. So Ion Torp clearly landed on that Nebulon cruiser. Mask goes out. No ship that size has a cloaking device. I love saying that line. Now the TIE Fighter, there's a lot of talk about the TIE Bomber taking a nerf, but the TIE Fighter also taking a sizable nerf and actually a larger percentage of hull compared to the TIE Bomber. So Disco Dino looks to be running standard hull on his TIE Fighter, but no reinforced hull, no problem. Just keep moving, keep guns ablazing, and that ion burst damage from the double ion TIE Fighter is second to none. This cruiser already safely in the out of phase territory. Baywatch boning up on their homework on Zavian and clearly not having any problems with the Abyss, showing that Empire can still very much compete on this map, despite the popular narrative. This cruiser is gone. Thanatos being lined up by Disco Dino now. Let's see, it doesn't look like Thanatos is quite aware of it. Thanatos flying a little bit straight here. Disco Dino trying to line him up. The dunk goes out, but it missed. Looks like Thanatos was able to dodge it by virtue of his nice plasverse orbits. Let's switch over to Thanatos and let's get a little dizzy here, folks. Watching those plasverse orbits going around the belt line of the cruiser here. Yep. Welcome to the spin cycle. Ooh, taking a bonk. I think that must have been a pancake or something. Taking a little bit of a bonk here. Let's flip over to Ilorin here. Ilorin looks to be heading back to her line. Doesn't look like Savrip really wants to go in here. Might be trying to set up for a strong defense instead. Interesting choice because the morale bar is not too unhealthy. They could go in real quick and get a shield gen. But, yep, opting to take a much more conservative approach here. Let's see if they have an out of phase ready. Sagan has that cruiser targeted down to 5. That's an easy oop for the New Republic. And Savrip in pretty good condition here because they have a full frigate to defend, and they're thinking that they can defend that and flip it back the other way and have a full morale bar coming in on the ISD. Let's go to Spoon to Hut here. Spoon to Hut, multi-role man. Sometimes we'll fly A-Wing, sometimes we'll fly Bomber, sometimes we'll fly the TIE Defender. A jack of all trades. Getting the benefit of the mask must be nice. It's interesting to me, though, that even without targeting beacons, Baywatch having no problem getting this damage. Oh, as I say that. One's running mass. No, yeah. 2 pairs of squadron mass, so no targeting beacons. Well, I was going to say no problem, but that's a bit of a high out of phase. Excellent defense by Savrip there. Let's switch back to Savrip. Let's go to Zareth and see if he can make the marks on this Imperial Star Destroyer. Now, with only one flex, and the one flex being a TIE Fighter, not a lot of PK pressure available for Baywatch on this ISD defense. Let's see if Savrip can slice his pizza in one phase. And with the beacons about to go out from Zareth, they have quite the strong chance of doing that. One shield gen already destroyed. All they got to do is dunk the other gen, and shields will come down on this Star Destroyer. Zareth applying his ion lasers, doing a little bit of a park job, but that's fine. He had a full battery of shields, and he was able to withstand the pressure. Zareth now getting dunked, but the damage is being done to the Star Destroyer. Let's switch over to Sagan. Power system has just gone down. Burst laser fire and weak points being found. Ooh, I think Savrip has a really strong chance of finishing that. Weak points available. Quintessence popping another one. Star Destroyer down to about 40% on the hull. Thanatos eruptions all over the hull of the Star Destroyer. Hull integrity is weakened. I don't know how much longer she can hold together, Captain. Looks like Savrip is going to get the one phase on the Star Destroyer. NR showing supremacy so far on the Zavian Abyss. Ooh, maybe I spoke too soon. Star Destroyer down to 8%. Let's see if they can safely get to the back here. Lauren just going down. Where is Quinn? Quinn is below the Star Destroyer, getting dumped, goes down. Team white for Savrip. And they best hurry, because not so easy to oop on this map, I suppose. So, beacons now going out from Zareth. Star Destroyer now at 3%. I'm not even sure how... Oh, it must be rocket turrets? Rocket turrets, that's how it's getting done. You cheeky, cheeky one, Zareth. Rocket turrets, no stranger to Savrip's playbook. And that Star Destroyer is slowly being chipped away by the power of the rocket turrets, not being picked up on by Baywatch. Down goes the Star Destroyer. The rocket turret recording the Star Destroyer kill.
Congratulations, Vanguard. The Imperial forces have been defeated.
You just don't see that every day, folks. I was wondering how that Star Destroyer was being hit with the team being wiped, but of course I forgot about the rocket turrets. Woo! Hail Sagan with a monstrous 115,000 cap ship damage. Not a lot of PK coming out, only one kill, and that came from Thanatos, but nobody on Savrip taken more than one death. And only one death total for Baywatch. Nonetheless, they came out on the wrong side of this. Very, very good game. Well played by Savrip. Both teams showing some excellent NR play. A little bit more of a traditional 2-2-1 there, except for the rocket turret, of course. Finishing with style was Zareth there. Other than the rocket turret finish at the end, really nice 2-2-1 NR play from Savrip. But you love to see it, folks. Very different team comps for games 1 and 2. Each New Republic wins by two different teams, but completely different team comps, showing multiple ways to win. And I think that's a sign of a very healthy meta. Scott, this series F's. Yeah, it really does. It's a Chad of a series, a Giga Chad. The rocket turret. I don't think there's a more stylish finish. I think maybe the only thing that could be more stylish is finishing a flagship with Seeker warheads, which can be done. I've seen it. I don't know if I've seen it in competitive play, but I've seen it in ladder. I don't know, chat. What's more stylish, rocket turret or Seeker warheads to finish an ISD? You know, Sika, I can't imagine that. I brought this up in one of the channels in SCL that with the short distance of the Zavian clouds from the Star Destroyer or the MC-75, you can very easily hide a rocket turret into the clouds, and you cannot visually see it unless you see the rockets coming out. So I was asking if that should get the banhammer. But raising awareness on the cast, you can hide rocket turrets. Now, the rule in SCL right now is that you can't use invincible rocket turrets, meaning you can't hide them in geometry so they're impossible to destroy. And if you're able to spot the Zavian cloud-based rocket turrets, you can destroy them with laser fire. So they're not invincible, but they are invisible. So should that be banned? Is it just spicy? Is it going to be a moot point because Zavian's going to be rebanned after the season? Tune in to find out. Let's see if the new lobby is up. Okay, Baywatch has selected New Republic for Game 3. Somebody on the Baywatch side commented, broken Zavian, leveraging that NR advantage, making no bones about it. Uh-oh. Password is wrong. Hashtag ban squadrons. Squadron's toxic, ban it. So, folks, if you're Savrip, ooh, pardon me, what do you do to counter the odd NR play of Baywatch here? What do you do? Do you come out again with the triple bomber, knowing that you only came 5% hull integrity away on the MC-75 from victory? Or do you try to mix it up and maybe go with a more traditional 221 instead of the triple bomber? What do you do if you're Savrip? These are the reasons why I like a little bit of a longer series. Get to make those game-to-game adjustments. Spam Seekers. Yeah, Seeker warheads are very, very effective on this map. In fact, I think that's probably a good play, right? Because they have a high chance of intercepting stuff. It's like the opposite of Vesley's. All right, no lineup changes coming out of Savrip. No NR changes from the lineup of Baywatch, so Disco Dino only playing for Empire. So I'm guessing we're going to see some multi-role players again. So looks like they're Baywatch realizing, they've been experimenting a lot with different strats, including 2 U-wings with mass and stuff. And I'm sure they figured out by having solo farm that introduces a lot of problems, but it seems they figured that out. Just have lots of Y-wings on the field. Something the wise guys can teach us, right? If you're worried about having a lack of farmers, just put more Y-wings out. 3 TIE bombers is silly versus Baywatch because they only have 1 Y-wing. I don't think it's not about the ICT though. Maybe you're thinking about wise guys. It's just about doubling down on the damage race. So if I'm Savrip, I might go with that same configuration, knowing that I was just a hair away from winning that game. With the there's no A-wings on the field, right? So at least out of game 1. So try to double on the Y-wing is not exactly amazing at PK. I think where you run into trouble though is the flagship defense with only one flex. And the thunder clouds of Zavian can be heard rumbling in the distance. And I'm sorry, folks, I forgot to turn on the music. No John Williams score in the background tonight. It's just the sound of the storm. The ships, the laser fires, and the explosions, and the sound of my voice. And here we go. Launching out of the MC-75, we got Power Paladin, Brandon S-101, Hentai Pilot, and I can't see the names because you're all talking too much, Spoon the Hut, and Beach 89. Over on the Empire side, Zareth, I. Lauren, Thanatos, Quintessence, and Hail Sagan. Triple Bomber has returned for Savrip. Probably thinking, you know what, we were awfully close in that one, and we think we can win. So, Thanatos making a dive for that Corvette. Looks like the ion missile missed. Shields did not seem to butt. Oh, but he's running ion laser defender now. Oh, taking a page out of Jareen's book. The Jareen special, doing a better Jareen impression than Jareen. Jareen disappointing the crowd with no ion laser defender versus Cab the other day. But this morale bar swung right in the favor of Baywatch, and Baywatch has the honor of first attack again. Let's watch this B-Wing do its thing. Mass are out. Clear sailing ahead. Oh, takes a bit of a weird bonk. Still managed to get 5 bombs on. That's okay. It's a big goofy ship. Oh, bombs firing the wrong way, and ooh. Yep, the B-Wing is a large ship, folks. You gotta know your size. You gotta know your size. Not that I could do any better. Shields have gone down on Charlie, but that's a huge source of their damage loss for Baywatch. Hentai Pilot making the swap, probably to a Y-Wing here. And Savrip. That might be the mistake that can make all the difference. They did not get that kind of mistake out of Baywatch in Game 1. Let's see if they can make Baywatch pay for that critical mistake. We saw in Game 1 that Brandon had over 200,000 cap ship damage in that B-Wing. He's already well behind his quota. So let's see if they can make up for here. Savrip now has their turn. Let's watch Thanatos here. Ion missile out. Ion lasers going to town on this Nebulon. With 3 bombers on the field, you can certainly get away with the defender not really helping out with the damage there. 3 bombers more than able to make up for the difference. Shields have gone down on Charlie. Let's watch Quintessence. Now the Queen of Standard Lasers, a recent adoptee, an inductee, I should say, in the Church of Standard Lasers on the bomber, founded by the High Priest, Zug himself. Going to work on Charlie. Beacons had been applied to Charlie. Charlie's down to about 40% on the hull. Not quite in the out-of-phase range. Savrip needs to hurry if they need to get this out-of-phase ball. No. Good defense. Really good defense by Baywatch. It's a little bit high to out-of-phase. They could push it if they wanted to. They're probably going to opt for the next phase. Very strong defense by Baywatch. Let's watch Power Paladin here. He has he has Brandon in his sights, ready to pocket him once he's done with his bombing run. You can see the explosions coming from the bottom of that B-Wing. Another resupply going out to Brandon. Topped off again. More explosions coming from Brandon. Let's go from Hentai. Hentai doing a little bit of PK bully on the back of Zareth there. Making sure the Y-Wings are topped off. So it looks like Hentai is in charge of keeping the other players topped off, or Power Paladin's in charge of keeping Brandon topped off here. Mass going out from Hentai. Charlie now in the safe out-of-phase territory. Delta down on the hull a little bit. Ooh, B-Wing taking a huge bonk there. Or, I'm sorry, the U-Wing taking a huge bonk there. Can we see some resupplyception here? Can we see the U-Wing get resupplied by another U-Wing? Ooh. Now, thankfully, folks, the resupply does not resupply the resupplies, because that would be ultra toxic. At least the devs figured that one out. All right, so this is a very, very productive attack. Savrip needs to flip this right now. This cruiser, ooh, that's a high out of phase, but they can do it. They can definitely cash in on the 1 very easily. Savrip now probably behind in this game. Shields just now coming down on Delta. Quintessence doing some standard laser orbits on the TIE bomber there. Let's switch to Lauren. Sticking with ye old rotary cannon, making sure Charlie is in the safe out-of-phase territory. Let's watch her pop off a proton torpedo on the TIE bomber. That's not something you see every day. She's getting some distance, boosting in. Very nice proton torpedo coming out from Lauren. And Delta just about in the out-of-phase range, so are they going to be opting for the double oop, or are they going to opt to push it? And Brandon looks to be melting the Raider awfully quick. And I think Savrip has the option to go in here and make a strong push on the MC-75. Full morale bar attack on the MC-75 for Savrip. Let's go to Zareth. Zareth just going down. Ooh, Cash just cursed right as I say that. Let's see what Savrip can do. If they can take down 1 shield gen and then put up a brick wall defense, that's all they need to do here. They just need to take out 1 shield gen. And I think they've done okay there. Shield gen, oh my god, down to 1%. Someone just needs to take a sneeze on it. There it goes. There goes that shield gen. Other one trying to be found by Quintessence, probably trying to get her bearings on this hellhole of a map. Just kidding, inserting my bias. Thanatos looks to be creeping back, getting ready for the ISD defense. Shield still up on the MC-75. Savrip probably wanted a little bit more out of the attack, but getting one shield gen on the MC-75 certainly makes the subsequent attack a lot easier. So Baywatch still has a bit of the Delta Cruiser to chew through. Let's see if Baywatch can come back in time to stop them. We have a bunch of weak bombers on the field. Quintessence better hope that one of these AI decides not to go rogue. Okay, and there goes the resupply, so she's a little bit safe. So a little more safe from the rogue AI. Savrip needs to defend here. They need a strong defense here in order to save their ISD. Sagan sticking in a bomber. I was wondering if he might switch to the defender for the ISD assault, or the ISD defense. Looks to be applying his rotary cannon to the back of Brandon. Morale bar still looking pretty healthy for Baywatch. Let's see, no beacons coming on the Star Destroyer attack, but there's lots of ion lasers on the field to help disable these gens. Shield still not down on the Star Destroyer. Hentai having a little bit of trouble getting the angle he wants to get the shields down. There's one gen disabled. But one of these flexes just got dunked, or I'm sorry, one of these U-Wings is getting dunked. Power Paladin in a bit of a trouble. Shield still not down on the Star Destroyer. I think Baywatch is in a lot of trouble here. They got to get the shields down now. And there's the call to fall back. And can Savrip come in with the tap-in and finish his MC-75? Ooh. Yeah, not the attack that Baywatch wanted there. Here comes Quintessence. Her eyes widening on the MC-75. Baywatch is going to need the defense of a lifetime to save the MC-75. Shields have now gone down the MC-75. Weak point being found for Quintessence and instantly deleted. Power system going down. This MC-75 is looking rather bad. Down to 26%. You got to say this is probably night for the MC-75. Savrip doing what they do best, gutting the fish, showing that Empire can still very much win on Zavian Abyss. Game 3 goes to Savrip, as does the series, with the 2-1 victory. Congratulations to Savrip. Zavian best map. Oh. Alright, still monstrous damage. Absolutely monstrous damage coming out of Brandon. 185,000, that's just absurd. You see, though, Spoon the Hut, Beach 89, not quite able to get the numbers they did on the last one because they did not get as much uptime on the Star Destroyer. 2 bombers for Savrip yet again, posting over 100,000 capship damage, with the 3rd bomber posting 84,000 capship damage. Only 3 deaths among the 3 bombers. So, TIE bomber just fine? Hashtag? Pushing my agenda there a little bit. Is the TIE bomber sad? I think those TIE bombers are walking away pretty happy with those stat lines, folks. So I'm going to tell the teams no post-game interview because this was a quick and dirty cast from my console. So let me message the teams. Maybe we can do a text interview. That'd be fun, right? This is like watching Alex Jones. I don't know. If I start claiming that Zavian is turning the frogs gay, then you can compare me to Alex Jones. It might be. We need to do some testing to see the effect of Zavian Abyss on frogs. All right. The teams have acknowledged that I will not be doing an interview since this is a quick and dirty cast. So that is it, folks. So to wrap up the evening, Zavian Abyss this was the first matchup for each of these teams for Savrip and Baywatch. New Republic splits coming out. So Baywatch taking game one with very strong B-wing play coming out of Brandon S101 and Baywatch. Savrip coming out with a traditional 2-2-1 NR win, but with Zareth getting the pretty finish with the rocket turret. The finish with style. Definitely a top three stylish finish in squadrons. But Savrip, only lost that game one in a very close base race. MC75 was down to 5%, came out strong, believing in their game plan, coming out again with the triple bomber and getting the job done and taking it to Baywatch in dominant fashion over Zavian Abyss. So that concludes my cast. Again, Savrip coming out with a 2-1 victory over Baywatch. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a good night.